Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this press conference. The ministers will now give their remarks. Foreign Minister, the floor is yours.
State Councillor and Foreign Minister Kim, you and I had our first meeting today after your appointment, and thank you so much for visiting Norway. China is an important partner, and we just had an open and good discussion on a broad set of issues. With the British translation or not? I was told that. No? Okay. Next year, we will mark 70 years of diplomatic relations. We have touched upon that development in the trade relationship, the green transition, and our joint focus on healthy and sustainable oceans. I commend China's leadership to reach the first global agreement ever on biodiversity. We have had extensive discussions on human rights, including our concerns related to Xinjiang and Hong Kong. We also discussed the situation in Afghanistan, the Middle East, and the Indo-Pacific region, including Taiwan. I want to thank you again for your recent cooperation as members of the UN Security Council, especially as we saw tensions rise in Gaza in 2021. An important part of our discussion was Russia's unprovoked invasion of Ukraine. China plays a crucial role in reducing nuclear threats. This is of global importance. I urge China to continue its contact with Russia to reduce these threats and to end the war. Peace and security cannot be achieved until Ukraine's sovereignty is fully respected and territorial integrity restored. This visit has given us an opportunity to discuss issues of common interests. We also have some issues where we do not always agree. I appreciate the openness. It has been a pleasure hosting you here in Oslo, and I'm looking forward to see you in China. And with that, the floor is yours, Your Excellency.
尊敬的维特菲尔特外交大臣女士，各位记者，大家下午好。很高兴来到奥斯陆进行访问，感谢外交大臣女士的欢迎和热情的接待。过几天呢，就是挪威的宪法日，我呢向挪威的朋友们预致节日的祝贺。
Madam Foreign Minister, friends from the press, good afternoon. It gives me great pleasure to be here in Oslo, and I wish to thank Madam Foreign Minister for her reception and warm hospitality. In just a couple of days, Norway will celebrate its Constitution Day, so here I wish to extend to you early festive greetings.
到了挪威以后呢，我先后同挪威的工商界进行了交流。今天上午我还会见了首相。 那么又同挪威的国会议员也进行了对话。刚才呢，我又同外交大臣女士进行了长谈、深谈。我们的交流是友好的、坦诚的。我们对发展中挪关系都有很高的期待，也都充满着信心。
After I arrived in Norway, I talked with the business community yesterday, and this morning I also had a meeting with the Prime Minister and members of the Storting, and I just finished with Madam Foreign Minister long and deep discussions. I feel that we are all very candid and friendly in these talks, and we have high expectations and we have every confidence in the growth of China-Norway relations.
中方高度赞赏挪威坚持坚定地奉行一个中国的政策，赞赏两国相互尊重彼此的 核心利益和重大关系，中挪关系持续稳定发展的最重要的经验，在于坚持相互尊重、平等相待、求同存异， 互利共赢的相处之道。一个中国方向原则。
China highly appreciates Norway's commitment to the One China principle. Actually, a core takeaway from the steady and strong growth of China-Norway relations is that we need mutual respect, equality, seeking common ground while shoving differences, and a common consensus on the One China principle.
我向外交大臣女士提出了对下一步加强中挪交往与合作的设想，得到了她的积极的响应。那么现在我们两国都已经走出了疫情，那么双方呢应尽快的恢复，并加速交往，推进互利合作，通过更加频密的人文交流，增进相互了解，深化友谊。
I've also talked with Madam Foreign Minister ways to further grow our bilateral cooperation, and she gave me positive response on my proposals. Our two countries are now out of COVID, so we stand ready to resume and recover mutually beneficial cooperation. We will further enhance people-to-people exchanges and our cooperation so as to enhance mutual understanding between us.
我和外长女士呢，刚刚共同见证双方签署了新版的避免双重征税协定。这对两国纳税人，特别是企业而言呢，是一个重大的利好的消息。
I just witnessed the signing with Madam Foreign Minister on a new version of agreement for the avoidance of double taxation. I believe this is major good news for the taxpayers of both countries, especially the business community.
中方呢决定把挪威纳入中国有关口岸城市144小时过境免签的国家的范围。欢迎更多的挪威的朋友到中国去访问。
China has decided to include Norway into the list of countries eligible for the 72 or 144 hours visa-free transit for Chinese ports of entry. We welcome more Norwegian friends to go and visit China.
我们呢还就经贸投资、海洋海事、绿色转型、气候变化、文化旅游、地方交往等进行了这个对表我们期待着在这方面呢开展更多的更实质性的合作。明年呢将是这个中俄建交70周年我们双方也一致的同意要这个筹办一系列的庆祝的活动，从而呢使这个两国的交往与合作呢更加的紧密更好的造福两国人民为了今后70年两国交往来奠定更加坚实的基础。
We also compared notes on issues related to trade, investment, maritime cooperation, green transition, low-carbon development, culture, tourism, as well as subnational exchanges. So we had quite a lot of substantive cooperation outcomes. Next year, we will celebrate the 70th anniversary of diplomatic relations between our two countries. Both sides have agreed to host a series of celebratory events so to bring the exchanges and cooperation between our two countries even closer to the greater benefits of the two peoples.
我向外长女士呢介绍了中方的人权观以及中方为保护和提高中国人民的人权、权利与自由，我们所做的不懈的努力。
I've shared with Madam Foreign Minister China's views on human rights issues, as well as the relentless efforts taken by China to protect and advance human rights, people's freedom, and their basic rights.
我还向外长女士介绍了新疆、香港这些问题的真实的情况。我强调指出香港、新疆西藏这些问题，实质上不是人权问题，而是维护中国的国家的主权、安全和发展利益的问题。中国人民坚决反对外部势力利用这些问题来在中国制造不稳定来制造分裂。
I also shared with Madam Foreign Minister the real situation in Xinjiang and Hong Kong. I stressed that issues related to Xinjiang, Hong Kong, and Tibet are not human rights issues. Rather, they are issues that concerns China's sovereignty, security, and development interests. China stands firm against any external forces using such issues to destabilize or separate China.
关于台湾问题，台湾问题的实质就是要统一与反分裂啊。那么现在台湾当局在有的国家的它的纵容和支持下在朝着台独分裂的道路越走越远。中国政府和人民决不答应，我们捍卫自己的主权和领土完整的决心是坚定不移的。那我还想强调的指出的是，我们都希望台海和平稳定，我们都希望实现中国的和平统一。但是台独分裂势力与和平稳定是水火不容的，是他们在破坏台海的稳定，危害地区与世界的和平。
The issue of Taiwan, its nature is about reunification and anti-separatism. Now we are seeing some forces supporting and enabling the independence forces in Taiwan, allowing them to go further down the path towards independence. On that, the Chinese government and people would never allow such a situation to happen. We have every resolve to safeguard the sovereignty and territorial integrity of China. I also stressed that we all want to see peace and stability, as well as peaceful reunification across the Taiwan Strait. But the separatist forces, they are the ones damaging peace and stability.
和平与发展是人类最求之持久的夙愿。中挪都认为，世界越是动荡，越要加强对话交流。双方都坚定支持世界和平，支持全球化和自由贸易，支持各国共同应对气候变化，实现可持续发展。中方愿同挪方携手维护以联合国为核心的国际体系，以国际法为基础的国际秩序，以联合国的宪章和宗旨为基础的国际关系基本准则，加强和平和和解事务协作，了解世界和平与发展，促进世界和平与发展。
Peace and development are the common pursuit of all mankind. The more volatile our world, the more important for China and Norway to further enhance dialogue and exchanges. Both China and Norway supports peace, development, free trade. We support response to climate change and sustainable development. So our two sides will join hands to uphold the UN-centered international order, an international system based on international law, and basic norms governing international relations that respect the purposes and principles of the UN Charter. China and Norway stands ready to increase coordination for the good of global peace and development.
关于乌克兰危机，当务之急就是尽快的停火止战，最终要通过谈判的方式政治解决危机。中方始终站在和平一边，坚持劝和促谈。我们也希望危机的相关各方都要保持冷静克制，共同为谈判解决危机做出努力，并着眼欧洲的长治久安，推动构建均衡、持续、有效的欧洲安全架构。
The immediate priority on the Ukraine issue is to cease hostilities and work for a political settlement through negotiations. China will, as always, continue to stand on the side of peace and promote peace talks. In doing so, we also hope that parties related to the conflict can also make joint efforts towards peaceful negotiations so as to bring long-term peace and stability to Europe and help establish a balanced, effective, and sustainable European security architecture.
中欧分处欧亚大陆两端，但是两国的友谊很近，是互利合作、现代化经验交流互鉴、共同应对全球性挑战的伙伴。期待我们共同努力，推动双边关系持续健康稳定发展，为当前不确定的世界注入更多的确定性和正能量。
Well, China and Norway are located in the two continents of Europe and Asia. Despite the fact that we are far from each other, we have close friendship between us, and China and Norway are partners in terms of mutually beneficial cooperation, in terms of advancing modernization and responding to global challenges. So for the sake of the sound and steady growth of bilateral relations, we hope that our two countries can work together to add more certainty and positive energy into an uncertain world. Thank you.
Thank you. We will open up for questions. Please use the microphone made available. We will start with NRK.
你好，我们是挪威广播电视台，欢迎挪威。So I would like to ask, China has expressed the wish to become a polar great power by 2030. And we wonder how will this increased presence be felt in the Arctic region? Would we be expecting Chinese warships to defend Chinese interests in the Arctic?
中国已经提出要在2030年的时候成为一个北极的大国，那么这是否意味着中国将增加其在北极的这个存在度？中方是否会派军舰进入这个北极地区？
我没有听说过中国说过要成为一个北极的大国，我更没有听说过中国将向北极要派遣军舰。
Well, I've never heard China saying that it wants to become a polar major power, nor in China have we said that we would send warships into the Arctic region.
但是呢，北极确实是事关各国的这个今后的未来，特别是在当前全球气候变暖的形势下北极事务呢不仅是事关北极国家也更具有全球意义和国际影响。
But the Arctic region does bears on the future of all countries, in particular in the context of climate change around the world. In today's world, Arctic affairs not only concerns Arctic countries only, they have a growing global significance.
中方是一贯的尊重北极国家在北极的主权权利和管辖权，认为北极理事会是北极治理的重要机制。挪威是北极事务的重要的参与方，作为北极事务北极理事会的观察员中方呢祝贺挪威昨天顺利的接任北极理事会的主席国，我们支持挪方尽早推动理事会恢复职能。
China always respects the sovereignty, the sovereign rights, and right to jurisdiction of Arctic countries. We believe that the Arctic Council is an important organ in terms of Arctic governance, and Norway is an important participant in Arctic affairs. As an observer to the Arctic Council, China congratulates Norway in taking over yesterday chairmanship of the Council, and we wish that under Norway's work, the Council will restore its functions at an early date.
中方主张呢，各国呢应该在和平利用北极的这个资源，保护北极环境方面呢，要加强合作。这种合作呢，不应该被政治化，不应该被地缘政治化，不应该受到地缘政治对抗的影响和阻碍。我们愿意同挪方一道，保护好北极这片净土，共同维护地区的和平稳定与可持续的发展。
China believes that we should strengthen cooperation on Arctic affairs with all countries on the basis of the peaceful use of relevant resources and the sound protection of the environment in the Arctic. We do not think that Arctic affairs should be politicized or should be linked up with geopolitics, nor should it be subject to geopolitical conflict. And on that basis, China stands ready to work with Norway to jointly protect the environment in the Arctic and contribute to peace and stability in the region. Thank you.
请中国中央电视台的记者提问 CCTV please.
秦国伟您好，欢迎您来到挪威，我是中央广播电视总台的记者。我的问题是，这是您就任国务委员兼外长以来首次出访欧洲，也是近期中欧高层密集互动的最新进展。在国际形势变乱交织的背景下，发展大国关系似乎越来越难。中欧关系如何能够保持总体稳定并不断发展呢？
Thank you. My question goes to State Councillor秦刚. Since you become State Councillor and Foreign Minister, this is your first trip to Europe, and it is also one of the latest high-level exchanges between China and Europe. So amid a global environment of disorder and chaos, it seems increasingly difficult for countries to grow among major powers. So under such a context, how can China-Europe relations maintain overall stability and continue to go forward?
中国和欧洲是具有世界影响的两大力量、两大市场、两大文明，在国际局势变乱交织的时代，中欧关系呢，坚持为世界增添发展的动力，注入稳定性，体现了中欧关系的全球影响和世界意义。放眼未来百年变局会充满着风高浪急那么中欧关系要持续稳定发展，要做到以下3点。
China and Europe are two major powers, two major markets, and two major civilizations with global influence. Amid a world of transformation, China-Europe relations have continued to deliver more drivers for development and inject more stability in the world. This shows that our relationship has a growing global significance and importance. Looking forward, we see that in a world of changes unseen in the past century, there can be difficulties that lie ahead. For our relations to maintain stability, we need to do the following 3 things.
第一呢是坚持包容的世界观，从世纪的疫情到环境的恶化，从经济复苏到发展赤字，全球性的问题日益的突出复杂，各国人民的命运呢已经紧紧地连在了一起。那么需要呢各国呢来携手应对各种共同的挑战。那么中欧呢应该是尊重和支持各国人民自主选择的发展道路，共同的积极回应国际社会的普遍关切。那么战后的国际秩序必须要维护，真正的多边主义必须要践行。
First, we need to build an inclusive world. From COVID-19 to a deteriorating environment, from economic recovery to development deficits, we see that global issues are becoming more prominent and complex. In our world today, the fate of people from all countries are closely intertwined, so countries should work together to respond to such challenges. And China and Europe should respect and support the people of all countries in independently choosing their development paths and respond to the shared concerns of the international community. In this regard, the post-war order must be defended and true multilateralism must be sticked to.
2是坚持进步的历史观，国际社会最需要的是和平发展，是公平正义，是前进而不是倒退。有人鼓吹所谓的民主对抗威权的叙事恨不得呢要再打一场新的冷战。那么冷战是我们人间的悲剧挪威就是当年也是处在冷战的最前沿，你们深知冷战的危害那么新冷战只会带来更大的灾难，严重的损害中欧2国人民以及世界各国人民的利益，会严重的冲击多边主义、全球治理会中欧呢应该共同反对新冷战，带头推进大国协调和良性的互动，把我们的精力、把我们的资源、把我们的时间都用到怎么样实现共同发展和繁荣上去。
Second, we need to jointly pursue the progress of mankind. What the international community needs the most is peace and development and fairness and justice. We need progress, not regression. Now, some people are hyping up the narrative of democracy versus autocracy. They even would go to the lens of having a new Cold War. But the Cold War was a tragedy in human history. Norway, in the past, was at the forefront of such a Cold War, and I think Norway knew all too well what the war would cost us. If we have a new Cold War, the outcomes would even be more disastrous and would seriously damage relations and cooperation between China and Europe and dealt a heavy blow to multilateralism and global governance. So China and Europe should join hands to oppose the Cold War mentality and lead in enhancing coordination and exchanges among major powers. Let us focus our energy, resources, and time on achieving shared development and prosperity.
三是坚持这个合作、互利共赢的合作观。中国呢是欧洲应对风险挑战的伙伴。中国向欧洲、向世界输出的是保险不是风险。
Third, we should stay committed to win-win cooperation. China is a partner to Europe in terms of responding to risks and challenges, and what China brings to the world is assurances, not risks.
中欧都一致地反对脱钩断链，为中挪合作筑牢了政策的基础。中欧呢要共同地坚持经济全球化的正确方向，共同地遵守世界贸易规则，共同地按照市场规律办事儿，加强宏观经济政策的协调，深挖合作潜力，妥善地解决彼此的重要的关切，共同维护全球产供链的稳定畅通，让中欧合作呢更好地造福双方的人民也造福呢世界的和平、发展与繁荣。
Both China and Norway and China and European countries are against decoupling and severing supply chains. This provides the political foundation for stronger growth between China and Europe. So our two sides need to stay committed to the correct direction of economic globalization, jointly abide by world trade rules and act in the rules of the market, enhance coordination on macroeconomic policies, unleash further potential for cooperation, and respond properly to each other's major concerns, and work together on keeping global industrial and supply chains stable and smooth. Doing so will help our cooperation to better benefit the people of China and Europe and help us to achieve world peace, development, and prosperity.
挪威呢是我这次欧洲三国之行的最后一站。通过这次欧洲之行我深切地体会到欧方加强对华的沟通协调与合作的强烈的意愿，以及呢这个对推进彼此之间互利合作的这样的强烈的这个愿望。那么，只要中欧和平相处、独立自主、开放合作、对话协商，中欧关系呢，就一定能够克服各种困难和挑战，保持健康稳定的发展。
Norway is my last stop during my visit to 3 European countries. And through this visit, I feel strongly that Europe has a very urgent desire to increase coordination and communication with China and to advancing cooperation for mutual benefit. So I believe as long as China and Europe stay committed to peaceful coexistence, remain independent, engage in open cooperation, and carry out dialogue and consultation, our relations will be able to overcome difficulties and achieve sound and sustained growth.
谢谢。
Thank you.
Thank you. This will conclude this press conference. The Chinese delegation has a plane to catch. Thank you very much.